It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single vampire in possession of a good set of fangs must be in want of a human. However, little known the appetites or preferences of such a vampire may be on his first entering neighbourhood, this truth is so well fixed in the mind of the surrounding families that he is considered the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters.
My dear Mr. Bennet, have you heard that Fansfield Park is let at last?
No, my dear Puds, I have not.
Well, it has, my dear, for Mrs. Long has just been there and she told me all about it. Do you not want to know who has taken it? Or rather, what has taken it? Why, my dear, Mrs. Long says it is a young vampire of large fortune from the north of England, and he came down to see the place, and he was so much delighted with it that he wanted to take it immediately.
What is his name?
Bingley. And he's single, my dear. What a fine thought for me. All girls, I mean. I'm thinking of him marrying one of them, isn't that wonderful? Anyway, my dear, what say you about this horrible smell permeating the house? I do believe it is coming from that new yellow wallpaper. Really, my dear, can't imagine why you chose such an awful shade of yellow. I have never seen a worse wallpaper in my life. Really, my dear, I can't understand why you would choose such a horrible shade of yellow. It's just really quite horrid.
Come, Darcy. I must have your faith. Upon my honor, I have never seen so many picnics in my life as I have this evening. There are several necks, you see, that are uncommonly appetizing.
You are feeding upon the only handsome girl in the room.
Oh, she is the most beautiful creature I've ever feasted upon. But there is one of her sisters dancing just behind you, who is, I dare say, very pretty and very agreeable.
She is merely tolerable, but not appetizing enough to tempt me. You had better return to your partner's blood. You are wasting your time here with me.
तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम
Mr. Darcy, what exquisite handwriting you have.
I know.
Mr. Darcy, no one sparkles in the sunlight brighter than you do.
Of course.
Your hair is marvelously...
I know.
Elizabella! Listen, my dear. It is a fervent belief of mine that vampires should marry fellow vampires. This silly game of yours, captivating Mr. Edward Darcy in a way I've never been able to, it must come to an end.
मैं इसको चाहती हूँ, मैं इसको प्यार करती हूँ, मैं चाहती हूँ कि इसके दांत मेरे हाथ पे लगाता है.
My dear sweet girl, you'll have to ignore it if you want to survive this night. Let me make this clear to you, my delicious little Bollywood starlet. I covet Mr. Edward Darcy and his sparkliness. He has a special place in my heart, and an even more special place should he join my collection of diamonds and jewels. If you dare try to stop me...
The women in the wallpaper! They're speaking to me! I'm Why, hello there, my fair lady. Allow me to introduce myself. I am George Bisham. It is a frivolously intoxicating pleasure to make your acquaintance.
वो जो बोलते रहते हैं मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता लेकिन मैं तुमसे इतनी प्यार करती हूँ.
That's a good girl now. Now why don't you come a little closer? Mr. Darcy!
Come with me. In vain I have struggled to read your every move, struggled to read the Hindi subtitles every time you open your mouth to speak. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I lust for your blood. I have every reason in the world to think ill of you. You seem to be incapable of speaking English. A horribly obnoxious Bollywood soundtrack sounds every time you enter the scene. And, most of all, your feet are inexplicably attractive. I must have you as my wife.
Mr. Darcy, मैं तेरी ही हूँ. मेरे से मुझे बचाओ. इस शब्द को फर्क मत देना. क्योंकि मैं औरत हूँ, लेकिन ये सब प्यार के नाम नहीं है. कि मैं तुमसे शादी करूँगी और बहुत सारे बच्चे पैदा होंगे.
And so this blood-sucking flea fell in love with this coy mistress.
Cease this folly at once, Edward Darcy! I will not allow you to marry this strumpet of a common human. She's hardly worthy of you, my dear. Wouldn't you much rather have a happy, incestuous vampire marriage with my daughter, your cousin?
With all due respect, Lady Biter, no.
How dare you? I'm Lady Biter in the Black. I'm a vampire of incredibly ancient standing and thus superior to this pathetic, exclusive flower. Aside from that, you little human girl, you should be reeling with the sheer wealth emanating from my cold, dead flesh. So displeased.
Isabella made no answer. She simply climbed onto her beloved Edward Darcy's back and allowed him to whisk her away. As ill-matched as they were, the two could at least agree on one thing. To acknowledge the substance of that conversation with the deluded Lady Biterin was impossible. In the end, the two lovers lived a merry life. Darcy fed on Elisabella's blood and reached any semblance of intelligence, wit and independence that had ever made its mark on her.
तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम.
All was well, except for the unfortunate woman who had a bizarre fondness for crawling around rooms with her shoulder to the wall.
Oh.
The end.